All right, everybody, welcome out to the Log Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, May the 7th, 2024. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, Mr. Samurai.
Hello, folks. What are we doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm not doing poorly. As you can see, I'm eating pretzel sticks, which means the whole throat incident is healed.
Is healed. And also means that we get to hear the bag ruffle around on that really sensitive mic of yours.
I'll put it over here.
That's a little better.
Put it right next to the mic.
There you go. That's always good. How are you on this fine evening?
Not too bad. It's beautiful outside.
It is really, 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 really nice outside. In fact, I'd say let's get this show done in 15 minutes so we can enjoy some. No, I'm kidding.
I may just pick this whole thing up and move outside with it.
And just move outside. That's not a bad idea either. There's a lot of good beer to drink tonight, so.
Yeah, we got some good beer.
You got it.
I think it's time to open beers because, well, it's another just the two of us show. This one was by design, though.
This just the two of us was by design. I want to talk about Vermont, New Hampshire, the trip that Jess and I went on, and also you've been to a lot of those places as well, so you can comment on it. We can
Yeah, a couple
have a chit chat about it, but. Before we, get going on it, happy National Cosmopolitan Day.
Yeah, if I'd had cranberry juice, I may have been drinking a Cosmo when we came on the show, but I have no cranberry juice.
Neither do I. And we're going to have cocktails tomorrow on the
that's true.
On the next And a Chaser show.
So Cosmo's what? It's vodka, cranberry juice, fresh lime juice. I'm missing an ingredient.
Is there Cointreau?
Is it simple sip? Oh no, it's triple sec. Yeah, Cointreau or triple sec.
Cointreau or triple sec, yeah.
Either one of them. That's right.
Either one. Yeah.
And I have triple sec. I got vodka. I got fresh limes. I just didn't have any cranberry juice.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
well, happy National Cosmopolitan Day, and also happy National Roast Leg of Lamb Day.
That reminds me. Belated happy Easter to Chuck Aaron.
Yes, belated happy Easter to Chuck Aaron.
He's Eastern Orthodox, so their Easter was just this Sunday. Mm-hmm. So, and why we do it, what we're saying it now is because he, when they're done with their fasting for Easter, every year they roast, well, not just the leg, the whole lamb. So,
Yep. There you go. So happy National Roast Leg of Lamb Day.
Yes.
And happy Easter, Chuck Aaron. There you go.
Yep. And for those of you who celebrate, Saturday was May the 4th.
May the 4th be with you, sir.
And also with you.
Thank you.
And it's the best part about that is Star Wars nerds have been replying that way to May the Force be with you forever.
Right. And
it was, I think, in the second season of The Mandalorian, one of the characters actually did it.
That's great.
It was someone said, May the Force be with you. And someone replied, and also with you. And you could ask Carrie. I went nuts. I'm like, oh my God. But I mean, that's the whole thing about Filoni, right? Is that he does things, he keeps the fans in mind when he does stuff.
Yep.
Exactly. And he's making some of the stuff that the fans love now canon.
Exactly.
So it's awesome.
This popped up in my feed on Saturday too. It says, sorry nerds, 5/4 is Dave Brubeck Day.
Yeah. He looks more like Tom Lehrer than Dave.
Brubeck. Yeah, you know what? Actually, put that back up. Actually, well, it's Dave Brubeck, but
it is Brubeck, but it looks like Tom Lehrer.
You're right. It does. It does.
It looks a lot like Tom Lehrer.
There you go. Okay. Well, what's funny is, and I said this when I saw it. I sent it to a few people too. I don't know if did I send it to you. I thought I sent it to you.
No.
I said it now. Sorry, nerds. 5/4 is Dave Brubeck Day. Yeah,
that's you have to be a nerd to know.
You have to be a different kind of nerd to know.
It's a whole different type of nerd.
But I'm both, so I knew, So, but yeah, it's take 5. It's in 5/4 the song, and that's why it's Dave Brubeck Day. For those of you that don't know,
take 5. Take the A train.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, there we go. Tom Lehrer.
Yeah.
Looking quite a bit like
Brubeck. Definitely does. Yeah.
But Tom Lehrer is from the 40s, so Brubeck looks like Tom Lehrer.
Brubeck looks like Tom Lehrer, exactly.
I remember usually every Star Wars day I will get a meme. I'll say his name once from Augie Carton about it.
That was twice, by the way.
Okay, so we can't say it. And I didn't, and it just said enjoy the 4th. And I was like, It wasn't a meme. It was just a text. Enjoy the 4th. I'm like, that's not like him. I didn't realize he was setting me up.
Mm-hmm.
He was setting me up because the next day, and I'll make sure that you can't see the name who sent it because
I don't think seeing it is going to hold the same feel.
And you can. This is what I get.
Can't read it.
May the 4th be with you.
It
says
it's May the 5th.
Now, no, for those just listening, these are stormtroopers. It says,
damn, I missed it. There you go.
So he was just setting me up for that one.
There you go.
Well done. Well done.
And on that same note, just about an hour ago, maybe I'm thinking. I guess it was. Al Gattulo posted this on Facebook.
Yes. Remember.
Reminder: April is Procrastination Awareness Month. It's May the 7th, people.
Yes.
So there you go. All right.
That's some good procrastination right there.
That's some good procrastination right there. All right. Anyway, well, sorry we started a little later than we normally do at these shows. We've been starting around 22, quarter to lately, but I broke a glass all over my desk. So literally just like glass. I mean, it shattered.
Luckily, you have 2 of them.
I had 2 of the same glass. So
yeah.
that's the fortunate part. The fortunate part is I have a backup. So that one. But the unfortunate part is there's paperwork on my desk. So I had to clean everything off before I go, like, cutting myself or drinking a piece of glass. So that would have been fun.
Yeah, drinking glass is not fun.
Not so much. No, not so much.
So we mourn a little over John's glass.
Yes.
But also, more importantly, just a shout out to Mrs. Blanche Krubner. Mrs. Krubner, we did sometimes call her Blanche just to annoy her, was my high school history teacher. Probably junior year, maybe senior year. And she passed this weekend. So shout out to her. She called us her huggables and lovables. But she spent a lot of time screaming at us. But she did let us get away with a lot of stuff. There was one time sitting at my desk, and I start doing this. John, stop it. I just go, and I'm just like pressing the desk, and then I do this. Boop, 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 boop. It's just my finger coming up 4 times, and then I just go. Makes it look like 4 switches, and then 4 more presses, and then I go with my fingers towards my friend Vin, who on the other side of the classroom, he puts his hand up, and goes, "Mrs. Krubner, Dave just launched on me." And this is the kind of stuff that she let us get away with, because she looked at me and goes, "David, how many times have I told you stop nuking your friends?"
There you go. Gotta love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So,
Play right into it. Gotta love a teacher that does that.
Oh yes, there was times where she would have she would do a drawing.
Keep talking. I'm right.
Okay. She would do a drawing, and whoever won the drawing got to lead the class for that day and teach the class. So, I did one person won it once, and basically just let everybody just goof off the whole day, which wasn't. You would think it sounded like fun. It wasn't really that much fun. I got to lead it once, and I forgot what I did. I wound up teaching the class something. I forgot what it was, but it had really nothing to do with the curriculum. But it was still kind of fun. So it was a fun class. Maybe not as fun as Darton's class, but that's a story for another day. But
that's a story for another day.
Yes, but she also did run the Gifted and Talented program. And believe it or not, I was in that, John, and I don't know what the hell happened.
How did you work that one out?
I must have paid somebody.
Oh, there you go. All right.
So I'm halfway done with my first beer.
So this is, by the way, this is Happy National Teacher Day on that.
So that's why it's appropriate.
And then Happy National Tourism Day,
which is going to roll right into the
basis of this.
The show, yeah.
The show, yeah. There you go. As you know, it's just the 2 of us. So.
And if you haven't read the tag under John's name there, Vermont and New Hampshire equals delicious beer. John took a birthday trip
I did. I did.
And you drank a few things.
I drank a few things. I did. I
Mhm.
did drink a few things. Just going to take my obligatory picture here. While I'm about, and oddly enough, all three things I'm having on the show tonight, I drank on the trip.
Did you bring these back from the trip?
And I brought them back. I brought them back from the trip, and I drank them on the trip. I drank them on draft on the trip. I brought back the cans for home.
Because
So
you can't bring the draft, because you probably could
I
bring one
bring the
keg back.
I could bring the draft home, yeah, but
You could probably fit all 3 sixtels in there.
I could. Well, if I, yeah, with all the beers that I brought back, I couldn't fit all the sixtels for that. I need to try.
No. But the 3 you're drinking, you could.
Exactly. So, what are you drinking while I take my picture?
Okay, so I'm drinking, and this is one of the places that John visited. He did not bring this back for me. This is readily available in New Jersey, so I was able to find it. And that is the Von Trapp Bavarian style pills. So this one, this is. I mean, okay, it's a Bavarian style pills. They're from Austria, but it's very well done Bavarian pills. A little lighter in color than most Bavarian pills, but.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remember when I was in Germany, hung out with some of my Austrian friends.
There you go.
People ask what's the difference between Austrians and Germans. Austrians are a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that Germans aren't fun, but they don't have the reputation of being a whole lot of fun. Austrians are boisterous. Germans, maybe not so much. Hey, you're Italian too, so stop
okay.
about that.
Anyway, I was waiting for something. Yeah, cool. And I will, on that same note, I am drinking a Von Trapp Kolsch.
And that is a yum beer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that one right now. And hold on, I'm drinking it out of my new Von Trapp.
Very nice. Dimple mug.
Dimple mug. Fortunately, this was not the one that broke.
That would have sucked.
I'm wearing my new Von Trapp cap.
And the thing is, if you had dropped the dimple mug on your desk, it probably would not have broken.
Wouldn't have broken, no.
You have to dimple mug. I have dropped a couple of dimple mugs. I've never broken one. They're kind of hot. Well, you still got you still got the price tag on it.
I know.
You just saw it on the screen, didn't you?
No, I knew it was there. I just
okay.
put it on. I'm like, I took too long to clean the glass off the desk. I'm like, screw it. I just put the cap on to start the show. This is fantastic. This Kolsch is really good.
They do some good work there.
So now, oddly enough, Von Trapp is the last brewery I visited on this trip. Let's talk about it first.
First thing you're drinking.
First thing I'm drinking. So we'll talk about it first. I have to. I meant to. I tried to get pictures up on the screen, but it didn't work out too well. So I'm gonna zoom in on this and show you best I can on my camera phone. I'll post these on the.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Now but you see in the background,
the mountain.
You can see the mountain, yeah, but you can see the Stowe ski trails.
Oh yeah, that's not something hanging off the tree. That's actually a ski trail.
Yep, it's absolutely gorgeous up there. It's literally like a mile and a half from Alchemist, which is right around the corner from Idle Time, which is just down the road from was it Marston, which has several breweries. One of which is Rock Art, which we know in New Jersey because they used to. They don't anymore. They only distribute, as far as I know, only in Vermont now. They used to have a wide distribution footprint, and they used to come to Jersey. But they're only in Vermont now. Actually sitting on a bottle of a bourbon barrel aged stout.
That must not be comfortable.
Rock Art. No, I got it. Hold up. Oh, that's better.
It didn't start off a stout.
No. It was a bottle of water earlier. But anyway, no. It's actually a few years old. I got to actually try that one.
And also, right in that area is the Ben and Jerry's factory. Is it not?
Ben and Jerry's is just down the road. If you're coming up from 89 up the road to go up to Von Trapp or Alchemist or any of those, you're going to pass right by Ben and Jerry's. It's in Waterbury. It's not too far from the main highway. Been there before. That's really cool. I think the coolest thing is the graveyard of the retired names.
Yes.
That's really awesome.
So I think my favorite part would be eating ice cream.
Yep.
I
No.
like ice cream,
Eating the ice cream was very good too, but
especially when they've got some of their experimental flavors on.
that goes without saying. Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
experimental flavors are fantastic. That goes without saying, though. I just meant the part of the tour that
I
I
see.
like.
Oh, the part of the tour. Gotcha.
So while I was at Von Trapp, I had one of these, and I know you're going to say shocker, but
That looks to be a Wiener, a Wurst of some sort. I would think it would be a brat.
it would be a verst of the brat variety. Yes, you're
That is
absolutely right.
brat on some sauerkraut and some Kartoffelsalat. Huh?
That would be correct. That was fan friggin' tastic.
Yes. Potato salad goes with everything, apparently,
does.
according to the Germans and Austrians.
It does.
They like their Kartoffelsalat.
That is for sure.
Kartoffelsalat.
Kartoffelsalata. So anyway, so we walk in. So I'll talk about Von Trapp for a minute. Hold on, we got a comment here from Brian Peepo. Good evening, Brian.
Not to be confused with Brian Eboke.
This is true.
Cheers.
Cheers. So yeah. So anyway, we walk in. I saw the picture before, and we sit down, and Hank was our bartender. Great guy. He's lived up there for a while now. Loves his job. The people there couldn't have been better. So cordial, so inviting. It was it was very, very big. Like it was a big ski lodge, basically. If you haven't been to Von Trapp, go definitely. But I'm explaining it to you. It was a big ski lodge, but it still was. It was still like that inviting, that hominess. It was. Right. It wasn't like this cold, corporate kind of thing. It wasn't by any means. Great.
There are definitely those up there.
There are. The conversation with them, the conversation at the bar, met a few people at the bar, talked to a few people. We have a new follower on Facebook and Instagram and the website from sitting there, and also another couple we're talking to. One of them works at a brewery. She is the general front of house manager, and so she'll be on the show soon. No, won't mention names. Not a New Hampshire or Vermont brewery.
Nope, it's a Massachusetts brewery. So that narrows it down to
about 230.
Is that how many Massachusetts has now?
Something like that. I spitballed, but yeah, I think it's up there. It's either high 100s or low 200s.
Let's see. Well, you keep talking while I look this up.
I just had to take a sip of my Kolsch.
Well, you do that.
I did.
It is 130.
130. I was 100 off. There you go.
You're 100 off.
100 off. So there's more breweries in New Jersey than Massachusetts. Wow. That's shocking.
Well, you got to remember, before we had the brewery explosion, we had the largest distribution of beer into the state.
That's true. That is
because we do love our beer. We're huge beer drinkers here.
Mm-hmm. We're making a lot of it.
We're just huge drinkers. You don't need to even put beer.
No,
you don't. But now we're making it locally.
Right, exactly. Brian Boak just commented again. Cheers, enjoying a 2017 Bourbon County Stout outside on a great night. Yes.
Oh, he's got to be smoking a cigar with that.
Yeah, having a cigar with that, Brian.
Yeah,
I'm assuming you are.
I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if he wasn't.
If he wasn't, yeah, exactly.
Sitting outside with a bourbon stout.
Yep. That
just screams light up.
100%. So in any event, so we were there for a while. We were there for a bit. Had a bunch of beer. The one beer that kicked right before we got there. There was a little bit because we got there early on. They were only open not even half an hour when we got there, but it kicked right before we got there. Was Uber Trosten.
Uber Trosten.
And I'll give you 3 guesses of what that kind of style was.
Uber, which means over.
Mm-hmm.
Trosten. I don't know what Trosten means. That's one of the German words I don't know.
Uber Trosten. So
Uber Trosten. Let's see. Trosten. Trosten.
That would be correct.
With the umlaut over the O.
Maybe, but not in the Untapped listing here.
Okay.
And there was only 97 people have checked into this beer as well. It's
over console.
Okay. Well, I'll just show you the Untapped check-in right there.
That doesn't make much. Ubertrosten. Das ist auch.
She is a rock beer, yes. The
She's
super
a-
version of their smoked dark lager, extra strength, extra lagering time, extra comforts at 10% Rauch. So Trosten is
So
the regular.
it's a verb, so it's not console, it's console, comfort.
Console. There you go. And Brian is having a cigar.
Of course.
So anyway, but that was the only one. That was the only disappointment there, but they had just ran out of it. So obviously you got to understand it was a good beer.
Yeah.
That's why they ran out of it. So yeah. Shit happens, as they say.
Yes, caca occurs.
Caca occurs. But in any event, it was a great time. And I highly recommend going to Von Trapp. Absolutely.
Oh, here's the Von Trapp.
Here's to Von Trapp.
And to the whole family. And to the hills being alive.
With the sound of music.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's not as scary now, is it?
Mm-hmm. yeah.
The hills are alive. The hills have eyes.
Exactly. You don't go there.
No. Okay, with the sound of music.
Exactly, sound of music. Yeah, Von Trapp. So anyway,
and that movie taught us all the names of all the notes on the scale.
Oh, that is right.
Right, the doe, the deer, the female deer, and all that.
I had a GIF one time, or meme, I should say. It wasn't a GIF, it was a meme, and it was a treble clef, and the bottom line. Mm-hmm. If you can read music, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
At the bottom line, I'm sorry. The top line had a quarter note on it, and then next to it, to the right of it, the bottom line had a note. So the second one up, so it would be the G and then the E.
Yes, on the treble.
Okay, on the treble clef. And it said, it was just a picture of it. It said, "This is so me."
Oh, Jesus. Oh!
So,
well, that's the bottom line now, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, okay. All right, so let's rewind back to the beginning of the trip. Beginning of the trip, we get up there. First thing we did, of course.
So you load the car, you get in the car.
We start driving up bagels, gas, coffee, but no.
In the beginning.
First the earth cooled, then the dinosaurs came.
Okay. They got too fat, so they died. They turned into oil. Then the Arabs came.
They bought Mercedes-Benzes.
Oh, airplane!
I gotta love it. So many lines to quote from that movie. It's ridiculous. But in any event, when we first got up to Vermont, what do you think the first thing we did was?
You got some maple syrup or maple candy?
That was like the third thing. No, didn't get maple candy this time. Got maple cookies, which I'll eat not maybe I'll even eat them next week, but mainly I'll eat them one show coming up. You know which one?
Okay, well, yeah, the one from Vermont,
right?
Because there's we've got like four.
Well, though you know what I meant, but
yeah. The first thing you did you pull over into a restaurant area and take a leak?
No, we did that at the first, stop. But the very first thing we did was we had to look for the world's biggest teddy bear at the Vermont Teddy Bear Company on the way up on Route 7.
Oh, that's in the south. Okay.
Yeah, and it's no longer there.
Jess must have been heartbroken.
She was very upset.
So those of you who don't know, Jess, she likes to find those roadside attractions that are the biggest this, the biggest that, the biggest whatever. Mm-hmm. She lives with the biggest goofball in Jersey.
Which is why it continues.
He's just part of the collection.
Right. But in any event, so we made our way to the only winery we went to. We went to Shelburne Vineyards. Had some decent wine. It had some high octane ice cider. Bourbon barrel aged ice cider.
If you remember, I brought ice cider back from Montreal.
Yep.
And that stuff is, it's delicious, and it packs a punch.
It was pretty good. We planned on, we didn't. It's the first stop. I didn't want to get like 3 bottles of ice cider to like we got to pass here on the way out. They're open. We'll stop and get them. By the time we left on Tuesday, they were closed, so couldn't get them. So, but in any event. So we stopped there, but then we went across the street to Fiddlehead.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, we were there for a while. They great beer, great people. Talking to this one gentleman, Dom, who may or may not be coming on the show soon.
That would be cool.
I
love Fiddlehead is still think Fiddlehead. Fiddlehead makes my favorite IPAs that come out of. Well, no, because there's Lawson. But a lot of people are going to. This is probably an unpopular opinion, but I prefer Fiddlehead's IPAs to the Alchemist IPAs. Sorry,
fair enough.
I just do.
Hey. Palates are palates.
Yeah, I remember one holiday party that we had. My boss walks in. Him and I go. We get there first. They're early, and we're at the bar because we got to make sure that they're pouring good stuff, right, or mixing good stuff,
right.
And so we're going to start off with the beer and a Manhattan. And I see they've got Fiddlehead IPA, so I ordered one. My boss is like, "They have any good beer here?" I'm like, "This is the best beer they have." He goes, "Well, what is it?" It's an IPA. He goes, "Oh, I like IPAs." So he grabs one. That's what he other than like 3 Manhattans and 3 martinis. Everything else he drank were Fiddlehead IPAs.
Fiddlehead IPA. Yeah.
He doesn't remember getting home that night.
Well, I will tell you, while ago, probably 8-9 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, somewhere back there, we did a blind taste test. You were not there. We did a blind taste test with Fiddlehead Second Fiddle. So it's double IPA. Yeah. Fiddlehead Second Fiddle, Alchemist Heady Topper, and another beer which I don't want to say on the show what it was, but another local New Jersey double IPA. But we'll leave it at that. No need to guess, but it was another one, right?
Okay.
All right. Fiddlehead blind taste test. There was 8 of us.
Right.
Okay. Except for one. I'm sorry. Everybody unanimously, Second Fiddle was the best.
Nice.
Number 1. Across the board, except for one. So 7-1, the local New Jersey one was number 2. And 7-1, Heady Topper was the third of the 3. While they're all great, of those 3 that day, that was the voting.
We had done an IPA blind taste test. I think Gene was there. I think Coop, myself. I think there was a 4th. It may have been the Duck. You don't know the Duck. He's a big Oregon fan, so I called him the Duck.
There you go.
And we had Heady Topper. We had Pliny. We had Fiddlehead. And we had O-Dub.
Okay.
Fiddlehead took first. O-Dub took second. Pliny took third. Heady Topper was the 4th. So to this day, I still maintain that Heady Topper's popularity and adoration came because it was so hard to get. Just like West Flattering.
It's 2 things, right? It was so hard to get, and all of those other beers came after. Topper. Okay, so Heady Topper broke the mold, if you will. Everybody else improved upon it.
Yeah, Pliny was probably the second one in that group.
Keep in mind,
historically,
right? Keep in mind that Alchemist has done other double IPAs. Yes. I actually prefer.
I prefer Focal Banger, but I'm still not a huge fan.
I prefer Focal Banger to Heady Topper. I actually prefer the Crusher to both of them.
I agree. For me, it's Crusher 1, Focal Banger 2, Heady Topper 3. But then again, your palate and mine are very similar.
Right.
I remember my brother once. He was in Minneapolis. He asked me, he's like, "What should I go get?" He goes, "Well, where should I go?" It's like, "Well, you need to go out to Surly." He goes, "I just had their IPA down in the lobby, and I wasn't that fond of it." Right. I was like, "Well, you had Abrasive." He goes, "Yeah, that was it." I'm like, "That's a good beer. It's not a great beer."
Right.
I said, "You need to go." Or is it the other way around? What's their basic one? Is that Furious? It's Furious. Sorry.
Furious is abrasive, isn't it? Yeah.
Furious. I said you need to go to the tap room. Go there because the place is fantastic from what I hear. I've never been myself.
It is ridiculously stupid good.
And the food I hear
there
is a couple
really times. Good. So good.
I said, and if they have Abrasive on tap, get it. I said, and make sure your palate's clean. Get it first, and that's all you're going to drink while you're there because you're not going to taste anything else. So he gets the Furious, Abrasive, that is, sends a picture to me, just a picture of it and they served it in a tulip. And he goes, "This is Abrasive." He goes, "Is it sacrilegious to say it's better than Pliny?" I said, no, you'd, as far as my palate's concerned, you'd be accurate. So a lot of these beers that we hold as legendary, they were legendary because in their day they were the best.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. In their day, they were the best, and at that point, they're not going to change the recipe, right? They're not going to say, okay, well, people are improving upon this style of IPA. Let me make this better. No, that's a classic. You leave that beer the way it is, and you improve upon it, but make
something else.
Do something else. That's where this is going, right? Alchemist makes great beer. Hetty is a classic beer. That's all. It's still good. A lot of people appreciate the newer stuff.
But it was also groundbreaking. It
was very groundbreaking. 100%.
It defined the New England style.
Mm-hmm.
No, right? Was it not the first New England IPA? Well, maybe it was not the first IPA brewed in New England, but was it the first any IPA?
It was the first any IPA, but it holds very few characteristics of a current modern day.
Exactly. It developed. It wasn't a hazy per se.
Right.
So.
Okay, exactly. I'm on my second. You on your second?
Yeah, I just poured my second. I poured my second again. I don't have any other Vermont beer in the fridge, but I got really close. I got upstate New York, and because you'd gone to Vermont, I decided to go with a maple cream porter from Racket River Brewing.
You know, you're making me jealous. I mean, I'm drinking great beer here, but I'm jealous of what you're drinking. So,
well, here's the thing, John. This is not cabin fever by any means.
Okay.
So don't be too jealous. Okay. And when we say cabin fever, this is Smug Brewing, and I really need to get to Rob and ask him if he's ever going to brew cabin fever again.
Apparently he did while I was up there. I just couldn't. The brewery was closed while I was there, and they don't distribute. It's packaged goods out of the tap room. And
this is the tap room this is the packaged goods out the door of the tap room because you couldn't go in during COVID. And they're the brewery that got me through COVID. And I think I helped get them through COVID financially.
You probably did.
But this is a good beer. It's cabin fever. It was basically like taking a bottle of Vermont maple syrup and just upending it. And then you got drunk off of it.
Fair enough.
It tasted exactly like maple syrup.
Yeah, that beer was like fantastic.
That beer was not even really a beer. There was really no beer characteristic to that beer other than the alcohol. It was just maple syrup.
Exactly.
This one is a porter.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it drinks like a robust porter.
Okay, which I love robust porters
with maple syrup in it.
Mm-hmm.
So if I ever get up there again, John, I'll go. Well, it's the Adirondacks. I'll get up there again.
I know. Hey.
But if I can, I'll grab you some of those if you don't get up there yourself.
Fair enough.
So,
my second beer is going to be from Schilling in New Hampshire. Pomolka 12.
Pomolka 12.
Pomolka 12. It's a Czech style Pilsner.
And the thing is, do you know what the graphic is on it? I had this ingrained in my head and never got to use the memory of it. Those are the three Czech train lines.
Gotcha.
Running through Prague.
There you go.
And I knew where they went. Mm-hmm. I had the map of Prague memorized. I knew where everything was. I knew where to go. I knew where to get the best Tmavy pivo. I knew where to get the best light pivo. Everything, but as we know,
you will get back there.
I will get back there.
You will get back there. So.
And I promised people of Prague that I would come back there, and Dave Campanella as well, that I'd come back with friends and we're going to drink the city dry.
There you go. And they're beautiful pour. Right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Now, oh my God, that's so good.
I got to say something. This is better.
Oh, that's such a light bready, clean. And it's a light bread. It's a Czech, Pils by any means, but it's not Bavarian or anything. It's not a German bready Pilsner. It's definitely light. It's Czech. It's true to style, but it's like
good sauce.
Great sauce. I mean, this is fantastic. And I had one of them again. Here, I'll pull this up. These were all pictures, by the way. Thank you, iPhone, for formatting every picture I take in HEIF. Or HEIC or whatever the hell it is. So that StreamYard doesn't allow me to import the picture directly into it. I actually have to change the, adjust the picture in it. So in any event, here is my picture of my Pamovka 12 while I'm about to eat in
Hey,
Chile.
hey. Wait a second. You brought my glass with you?
I brought your glass with me. Look at that.
This is actually, and John knows this because it's on the show all the time. It's one of my favorite glasses to drink out of.
I didn't want to get 2 glasses at Schilling, so the other glass I got you'll see on a future dated show.
Okay.
So because I knew damn well they'd have a dimple mug at Von Trapp. So there you go.
Mhm.
2 birds, 1 stone. But now hold on now. So I had that. Here is Schilling. Here's the outside of Schilling, obviously. You know that well, right?
Yes, you're making me totes jelly.
There you go. And just had to show this because where is it? Uh-oh. Where'd it go?
I don't know. It's your phone.
Oh, that's not good.
Did you delete it?
No, I don't think I did. It's missing, but I was going to show you the bratwurst that I had at Schilling.
Is that all you ate with bratwurst on this?
No, it's actually only 2 brats I had. So that was it. In fact, they actually had. I'll get there in a minute. I didn't have a third, but I could have. Brian just said my second is Ramstein beer Maybach.
There we go.
That's his drink.
You can read it later.
Yeah, I'll read it later. You saw it already.
Yeah.
In any event, cool. So Schilling was. Look, we went there. I had never been to Schilling before. We're up in Burlington. We've been to Burlington, before. I've been to Vermont. I almost. Long story about. I guess it was 89 or 90, probably 1990. I almost bought a condo in
a what now?
A condo.
Okay.
Condo.
Yeah. Just checking.
Word stops after the O.
Okay, just checking.
Ironically, the next letter is what you're thinking it was in the whole word, but condominium.
Oh, condominium.
Yeah,
yes.
Anyway, condo. Almost bought a condo in.
Didn't drop another glass, did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
In Killington, because I used to ski in Killington all the time. They had this. I'll make it quick. They had this deal back in. I guess it was probably 89 or 90. They were selling off the villages of Killington. Killington Mountain, the ski area themselves. They had 6 or 8 different condos and townhouse complexes, and that you rented out right when you went up there to go skiing. Some were ski on, ski off. Some were just ski home. Some were shuttles anyway, whatever. But I stayed in a bunch of them. We used to go for Super Bowl Sundays on the ski on, ski off. And we just, no shuttle, anything. Walk out the back door, put the skis on, and go, and then come back and eat lunch and go again. It was great.
Nice.
But anyway, almost bought a condo. They were selling them off privately. They didn't want to own them all. They wanted to divest, I guess you could say, and they were selling them privately, where you put 10% of the asking price down.
Okay.
They held the mortgage for you. You paid it off via them renting it out for ski trips or mountain biking trips or golf trips in the summer, tennis, whatever. You just let them know every so often when you're planning on going up, and they didn't rent it on those times. You had your own locked cabinets, so your own bedding and your own plates and cutlery and everything else.
So it's like almost like a timeshare.
Well, almost like a timeshare, but it wasn't a timeshare. You had it as it was. You could tell them you didn't want them to rent it the whole time. That was fine. But it'd be stupid, right? Because they took those rental earnings went towards your mortgage,
nice.
and went towards your mortgage, and went towards your taxes, it went towards your maintenance and everything. And they had people come in and everything else, and the association fees and all the other stuff. But a 30-year mortgage was usually paid off in about 6 years. And then you're getting a check every quarter.
Now is this the?
And I didn't do it because I'm an idiot, and I was too young to realize that I should not have passed that up. Because we're talking about like a 2-bedroom condo back in 1990 would have been about $60,000. I had to get him $6,000, which to me at my age, obviously back then was
more money than you had.
It's a lot of money, but I could have done it. And and in 6 years, I would have owned it outright and been collecting a check and owned a condo up in Vermont.
Damn
idiot.
And was it like off that road? Did it that emptied out on the main road next to White Horse Tavern?
Yeah. Yeah, it was up the end of that.
White Horse Tavern is one of the few places on the planet that has Hetty on tap regularly.
Yep.
For those who are not in the know.
So it was it's the road that goes up and it passes the Wobbly Barn a little bit further.
I've never been there. I just know the White Horse Tavern is on the road that leads up into Killington.
So so I didn't do that. But in any event, point being, we're up in Burlington. I've never been to Schilling. I got to get to Schilling. Right. So on my birthday, that's what we did. We woke up, ate breakfast, and we took the hour and 40-minute ride over to New Hampshire to Schilling from Burlington. And it was so worth it. We were planning on staying for about an hour and a half or so. about not quite 3 hours and 3.5 hours later. We really got to get out of here.
It's funny because, John and I had talked about, him bringing back beer for me. And so he's there. And I'm like, it's his birthday. I'm not going to bother him. And I figured, okay, he's gone now. That's cool. And then he texts me, oh, so did you get a chance to look at the beer list? I'm like, how the hell are you still there? I figured you'd be halfway to Von Trapp by now. Yep. But no, he was still there. So I put my order and he helped me back some beer. So
didn't even go to Von Trapp on Saturday. Wound up going on Tuesday. Because we spent too much time we wouldn't have ever gotten to dinner if we went to Von Trapp too. So we stopped at Bar Hill Gin. More on that later. But in any event, yeah, it was fantastic. I mean, if it wasn't so damn far away, I'd go back often. I really would.
Yeah, I'd be there. I'd be a regular if I lived in town. I tell you that. I'd be there probably every damn day.
Had a bunch of beer there. Had their alt beer. Which they did not have in cans. They ran out of cans. And he was like, I can probably, I'm not supposed to, but I can probably, I was like, no, I'm not making you do anything you don't want to do. Cause I was talking to the guy he could have done a crowler of it, but I'm like, I'm not going to do it. But that was it right there. That was the alt beer. It was just beautiful. Me, it was a shtick alt too. It was like,
this is John's favorite style.
Mm-hmm. So at least I enjoyed one there in the tap room, not in the restaurant, in the tap room. I had that one. But anyway, so yeah, Schilling, fantastic. You're anywhere near the area, go.
And if you're a long time viewer, listener of the show, over 3 years ago, we did the top 3 most scenic breweries we visited with John Hall on the show, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
And my number 1 was Schilling. And John now understands why that was my number 1. You sit on their deck right on the Amanusuck. I know there's moose in there somewhere.
Amanusuck, yeah.
And right on the river, and it's like these these short cascades as it goes down. There's a red covered walking bridge across the river right there. And it's just an absolutely beautiful place to sit and drink a beer. And if it's too cold outside, you go inside and you sit around the friggin' fireplace, which is also beautiful. Big stone fireplace right next to the doors of the deck.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, gorgeous. And if you've not been there, get there. This brewery is, as far as I'm concerned, might be my favorite brewery in the country. They're doing some of the best lagers that are being made in this country right now.
I'm actually pulling up this show notes from that podcast. I'm going to look at what your other 2 were and what mine were, because I might want to modify mine just for the hell of it right now on the fly.
I'm going to modify mine as well because of my trip to Germany.
Of course.
Because sitting in Eich Schlenkerla.
Of course.
But that's not scenic.
That's not scenic. That's just favorite brewery. That's not scenic.
Well, a favorite brewery, favorite place to sit and drink a beer. And to sit in the dining room of Eich Schlenkerla and drink a beer, or in the dining room of Weinstefan and drink a beer. Those are pretty freaking cool.
I only have Schilling as your number 1 for some reason.
You weren't doing all 3 at that time when you were.
I guess I wasn't logging all 3. You know what? It looks like it continues on the next page, but it won't scroll up.
Okay, so I know what my other 2 were.
Which were?
Was it Westwood? What's the name of that brewery out by?
Which one?
Fargan. It's in New York State, west. I can't remember the name of the freaking brewery right now.
West something in New York State.
Yeah, it's let's see. It would be not too far from Middletown.
There you go.
On the way up towards Port Jarvis. I can't remember the name of it. West something. And that was one of them. And I'm pretty certain the other one may have been this one brewery in Connecticut, which is really scenic. I loved it. It wasn't all that fond of the beer, so I won't bring up the.
Well, I'll tell you. I can show you. I tell you mine. I had 2 honorable mentions, and I had a 3, 2, 1. My 2 honorable mentions were Alchemist in Stowe, which is beautiful, and Avery in Boulder, which is, it's still beautiful because especially the outdoors when you sit there and you're looking up at, you're in Boulder. And the mountains are all right there. It's beautiful. But then 3, 2, 1 were Treehouse in Charlton, Hill Farmstead in Greensboro, and Foam in Burlington. So all like 3 of the 5 are in Vermont, right?
Westtown Brew Works. That was probably my number 2.
Brew Works. There you go.
That's a beautiful place to sit and drink a beer.
Gotcha. Is the TV on over there?
No. Someone just got home and they're talking back there.
I gotcha. In any event, I definitely have to. I'll have to go over it, but I'm not sure where I would put them. Schilling would definitely pop into number 1, but Von Trapp would be up there too. So I don't know how I would.
I can imagine. There's other places I've drank now that just the scenery. Some of the, Utah.
There you go.
Yeah, sure. So there's definitely some places that. So remember, that's over 3 years ago. John and I have been a few places.
A few places since, yeah. Doug Smith just commented and he said, Schilling is a special place. It's a favorite of Chuck Triplett, the lager guy. He makes a yearly pilgrimage.
Yeah, because I don't think there's anybody in this country doing lagers better I'll say there's nobody in this country doing lagers better that I've been to.
Fair enough.
That is 100% accurate statement. I will say that with apologies to the shirt you're wearing, John.
Yeah, no, that's why I kind of where I wore the shirt today. Bird's Mouth.
They do some great lagers, but
it's New Jersey's only lager only brewery. There's a lot of breweries that do great lagers in New Jersey, but they also do some ales and IPAs.
And I really don't think he'd have any issues with me saying that Schilling makes the best.
I honestly don't think Andy would be that upset with you saying that.
He'd probably agree.
Yeah. And I'm not posting that right now. So.
No.
Sorry. Because the game's not over yet, Doug. So we'll see. In any event, hey.
Not for nothing. This series worried me big time. Is that I've never rooted for the Islanders.
This is the worst one. They get past this. They get past this series. They're winning the cup.
They'll fly through because they always have a problem with Carolina.
Yeah.
The fact that they won that first game. Mm-hmm. But then again, these games are at home. Then they got to go to Carolina and try to win.
Yeah, so they have to win.
That's their biggest roadblock.
So I mean, they're all their lines are good. They really need to pull us out tonight. So we'll see what happens. But in any event, back to beer. And Doug, just go Bruins. Yeah, okay.
Not for nothing, Doug. If the Rangers get knocked out, I will root for the Bruins because John knows my rule. Mm-hmm. If the Rangers aren't in the playoffs, I root for any original 6.
There you go. Yeah, it has to be an original 6.
I root for an original 6. Mm-hmm. And the Bruins are the other of the Northeast pairing of the original 6. There's the Midwest pairing of the original 6 and the Canadian pairing of the original 6.
That is correct.
So, you've got Montreal, Toronto. Toronto's out already. They put up a bigger fight than anyone thought they were going to. Mm-hmm. I mean, taking the Bruins to 7 games, that was an accomplishment in all Toronto Maple Leafs fans.
But I would probably root for, Toronto is like, it's like, come on already, Anyway,
Do something.
do something. Like with a stick, do something.
Yes,
Do
that
something.
that means do
Okay.
something.
But before Chicago or Detroit, I'd root for Boston. So
Yes. Oh, when it comes, I don't know.
It's Leafs fans, how do they stand it? I know.
Yeah, you've got the friggin' Hockey Hall of Fame right down the street from your stadium,
Yeah.
and they've been traditionally the worst of the six over the past maybe 30, 40 years.
Yeah, I mean,
And we've probably and the Rangers probably been this. Maybe
well,
the
yeah, but I
70s.
mean, at least the Rangers, like, what they make a run, they get deep, and then they screw up, right? They've won the last cup they won was 30 years ago. The last cup before that was 54 years before that. So 2 cups in 84 years. Yeah, I mean, and most of that time there was only 6 teams playing.
And you know what? When
Most of the 54 years, I mean,
the last time the Maple Leafs won the Stanley Cup, I was 15
I was going to say
15 days old. John wasn't even born yet.
I wasn't even born yet. Yeah, exactly.
So
there you go.
I was just a little over 2 weeks old last time they won a cup.
1967. Yeah.
Yep.
What was that? Anyway. All right.
And that's when there were so few teams that they managed to finish the Stanley Cup playoffs in May.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there was only 6 teams.
So 4 make the playoffs, 2 don't.
Yeah, and two series and it's done.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. So Schilling. Yeah, I definitely got to get up there more often. You got to get there more often. We got to figure out a way to
get up there together.
Get up there together.
The best way to do it, and I know you didn't have the time to do it, but the best way to do it is get to Hill Farmstead when they open.
Mm-hmm.
Relax in the sun out on one of those benches. Play with the puppies that are there, drinking Hill Farmstead beer. Mm-hmm. Then pack it up, and hopefully it hadn't been raining a lot because you're going to have to slog the car through mud.
That dirt road, when it rains.
It's brutal. It's fucking brutal. And then take the back roads. It's a beautiful drive out to Schilling from there. Mm-hmm. It's doing those 2 in one day. You'd be like, how can you do these 2 great breweries in one day? And they're 2 so different breweries. Mm-hmm. They're so different from one another that you can absolutely do them both and enjoy them no matter what order you do them in, and enjoy the hell out of both of them and realize that the 2 of the best breweries in this country are about an hour drive away from each other.
Yeah, hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, it's an hour once you get past the dirt road.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, so I won't belabor the rest of the trip. I'll just, basically on the first night after we went to Fiddlehead, we had dinner at Burlington Beer Company. Little on that. Last time I was at Burlington Beer Company was in their old location, which is still their production facility. All right. But they had a makeshift tap room set up with if memory serves, it was barrels, with rope and everything else. And you went in and there was a bar set up on one side of the walk-in cooler with taps coming through the cooler. And, your typical old school makeshift tap room in a production facility. Right. And it was cool. It really was. I enjoyed it. Now they've gotten big, right? Their distribution footprint is very big, and they have this huge, beautiful building right next to Switchback in Burlington.
They make some tasty beer there.
And they do make some tasty beer, and now they're making
as does Burlington.
Sure, and they're making all the Burlington's making all their beer in the production facility too, the old facility. They're barrel aging, and it's the tap room with a restaurant and a bar and everything else. In Burlington. I will say, as beautiful as the place was, and I will tell you, it was absolutely beautiful. And if it's for you, go. But for me, it just lacked a little bit of that hominess.
Well, the thing is, it was a full service bar.
Yes.
I think when a brewery's tap room also boasts a full service bar, mm-hmm. you've already lost a brewery feel. Mm-hmm. Having a restaurant in a brewery is one thing. But once you get that full service bar going,
yep,
the feel changes.
Plus, you walk in, there's a podium with a hostess.
That, yeah.
I mean, they were busy, and it was a Saturday night, right? And they were busy, but place is very, very big, and they have a nice merch area and a couple different areas of the place. Again, it was really cool. Don't get me wrong. As a brewery owner, I would love to have that. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
But yeah, it could have been a little bit more old school for me, a little bit more homey. But beer was fantastic. Food was delicious. I had a burger. It was fantastic.
And also, don't get me wrong. The statement I made is not all encompassing, because I've been to breweries.
Mm-hmm.
There are also restaurants have the brew pubs or whatever
Mm-hmm.
that have full service bars that still keep that hominess about it. Lake Placid Brew Pub is
Sure.
one of the examples,
Yep.
right? So it can be done, but you got to remember, Lake Placid Brew Pub's in an old church,
Mm-hmm.
so it's hard for it to not be homey.
Sure.
But when you've built a space
Mm-hmm.
and you got a large full service bar, that
Mhm.
I think that's the qualifier.
This is true. Then we went skip out of Monday. We went to Four Quarters up in Winooski. Good beer up there. I did. Anybody that read my article on brown ales that I did, one of a Four Quarters brown ale was featured. It was the French Toast Great Bear, and it was absolutely delicious. It was absolutely
Nice.
But in any event, we left there and went down to Schilling. Sorry. Wish we went back down to Schilling. Went to Switchback. And then in Switchback, got some beer and bless you. Got some beer in Switchback, but they did have this. This was available.
What was available?
Right there. Switch brat. It was bratwurst cooked in their beer, and I did not get it because I didn't want a third.
Really?
Yeah, so I did not.
Now, what was interesting is John's posting a lot of what he's drinking, a lot of the places he is, to one of the our drinking groups.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he got back, I'm like, how did you not go to Foam? Well, he just never posted it.
I haven't. I didn't send any pictures of Foam, and I actually haven't. I haven't made that post yet in my Instagram. I will, but I haven't made that post yet. But I did get the Foam. But in any event, it was that night. So we left Switchback, went over to Zero Gravity.
Yep, they're just up the road.
Yep, and left Zero. Only had a couple beers there. They've done the same thing. They had a small place the last time I was up there, and it's like 2.5 times the size it was, and it has a full restaurant. Whatchamacallit. And then across the street from there is Queen City, and they're making some interesting beers. They got some lagers, they got some smoked beers, they got some barley wines. So it was I had to have I had 2 flights and a couple of full pours between the two of us, between me and Jess. And then but we left there and went to Foam.
Very nice.
And that brings me to my third beer as I finish this one.
Your third beer. Okay. I shall finish mine. You're drinking. I don't know if you've noticed, since I got back from the ordeal, I drink slower now.
You do. Shockingly.
I think it'll come back, but for now.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Oh, I never brought the bottle opener for this one. Hold on a second. It's just sitting right there. My third's a bottle.
Taking the
what are you taking? You're taking your obligatory picture.
Taking my
obligatory. So you got to let me know these things so that I can go ahead and fill in.
That's quite right. That's why I said it. So
I'm probably not going to finish this one because it's first of all, it's a bigger beer and it is a bigger bottle.
There you go. It's is it a 500 or a 750? Or 22 ounce?
No, it's 500.
Yeah, so that's only 9 ounces bigger than a 16-ounce can.
Only 9 ounces. Yeah.
9 ounces, not 0.9 ounces. I'm sure.
Point.
It's 16.9 ounces. 500
Yeah.
milliliters, 16.9 ounces.
Yeah, it's a 1 pint and 9 fluid ounces. So that's a 500, right?
It does, yeah.
Because that's
16.9.
16.9. Because 16 is a liter.
16 is
the
pint.
pint. Yes.
This is 16 ounces, and the bottle you have there is 0.9. It's less than an ounce.
Yeah, but this is still 10%.
That's true. Well, that's the reason. It's not because of the size of the bottle. It's because of the size of the beer.
Yes.
So why don't you put it in?
Oh. So it's interesting because I don't know if they're new into New Jersey, but more and more people in the state and in our drinking group have been drinking this brewery. And I'd seen it before. And, I am mostly Polish, and it is a Polish brewery. And that's, I don't know if it's pronounced Combs or Comes.
It's
Komesh.
Komesh, I'd say. Komesh.
Maybe Komesh. But this is an Imperial Amber, a 10% amber.
10% amber.
Because, Polish. And
because Polish? Is that what?
Yeah. And look at the pour. Look at that. Look at it, John. Look at it.
That is beautiful.
Right. And I've got it in my Year of the Dragon glass here.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if anybody who watches the show, you probably, just the way this is focused in on it and the details of it, you can probably tell I got a new webcam.
You got a new webcam.
Because the last one sucked. It absolutely sucked. So this one is, so we'll see. John, what did you pour?
I'll tell you in a second. We got 2 comments on here. 1 second. Whatchamacallit? Going back to Doug's comment before, Shilling is a special place, a favorite of Chuck Triplett, the lager guy. He makes a yearly pilgrimage. Mm-hmm. And Chuck Triplett comments in, Doug Smith, I do enjoy a well-made lager occasionally.
Occasionally.
And then Doug says, occasionally? And he says, sorry, says the guy going to Germany again this month, 2 years in a row. There you go.
So where in Germany are you going there, Mr. Triplett?
Where are you going, Chuck? Let us know where you're going. While you type that, I will tell you right now. What brewery did I say I went to after Queen City? Foam. So I'm drinking Let's Pretend. It says Let's Pretend.
And there's some mushrooms on the label here.
It's mushrooms. All right. I go this way. And a gnome. Mushrooms and a gnome.
Is this with dancing? Is it collab with Dancing Gnome?
No, it's not. It's just
that'd be cool.
It says Bizarre Celebrations. Let's Pretend. This is their 8th anniversary IPA.
Very nice.
So I'll put the crawl up here. Bizarre Celebrations. Let's Pretend. 8.5% double New England from Foam. And
Foam makes some damn good liquid.
They do. And I had to put it in
your coastal glass after you made sure you cleaned all the glass out of it from
that. Was like, I realized that this glass was sitting down. I'm like, crap, I didn't rinse this one out. So.
I saw you wiping it out. So I'm like, you must have thought that maybe some shards got in it.
This is fantastic. And as I did with the other 2, I will show you this picture right here. This is my pour at Foam of the same beer.
Beautiful.
There you go. It was great. I love Foam. If you haven't been to Foam, it's right on Lake Champlain. It's right in the park. You park, you're looking out maybe, I'd say maybe 2,000 feet, maybe. So maybe a quarter, not even a quarter. I can't say quarter of a mile because it's really not that far. You can look right at the whole lake from the windows of
the whole lake.
Well, not the whole lake, but the whole across. You can
see you can see the
mountain. You can see the mountains in New York across on the other side of Lake Champlain, right? So,
yes,
it's beautiful.
The and Champlain is technically the 6th Great Lake.
True.
And there is a reason that they proclaimed it a Great Lake.
This beer is phenomenal. By the way, I just hold that thought. This is. I mean, there's a little bit of bitterness to dry it out at the end, so it's not cloying, it's not lingering. It's sweet but not sweet, not overly sweet. It's nice and juicy. It's an 8.5% beer. I feel like I'm drinking a session IPA. That's what's scary about it. All right.
Okay.
So good, this beer.
Conversely, This 10% amber that I'm drinking
Tastes like a 10% amber.
tastes like an 18% amber.
Ooh, have fun with that one.
Whoa. Actually, it tastes more like an 18% very young, thin barley wine.
Ooh.
Not
Not
necessarily in a good way.
All right.
Whoa.
Like a very hot, not aged enough barley wine. That's what you're saying.
Wow. I don't know. If you probably were looking at the time, you didn't see my face after I tasted it, did you?
No, I didn't. Do it again. Let me see.
I don't know if I can recreate that. Oh my God. This is a booze bomb.
Oh, that's great. Love it.
And I've had so many 10% beers that just, drink like they're 6 or 7. This thing, wow.
This thing is drinking literally like if you told me this was a 3.5% session IPA, I would believe you.
If you told me this was
kudos, foam, fantastic.
If you told me that this was a whiskey half and half with an amber ale, I would have believed
you. So there you go. Quite the opposite. We'll talk about it tomorrow night on And a Chaser.
Yeah, I won't be finishing this for 2 reasons.
You can finish it tomorrow night on And a Chaser.
Yeah, maybe. For 2 reasons. It's not that it tastes bad. I'm not going to say that. I just got done drinking a maple cream porter, so I'm going to have a few more sips of this and see where the flavor really lands on this. Mm-hmm. But it's a difficult drink because of the heat. And we're not talking chili heat here. We're talking booze heat. But also, I do have to work tomorrow.
This is true.
So I don't think I'm going to get myself completely tanked on this. I mean, I did drink 2 lower alcohol beers that were in the just a little 5 point something, and the lower end of 5 point something. I think I had a 5% and a 5.3.
You did. You had you had a 5%. You had a 5% and a 5.2.
5.2. Mm-hmm. So and now this.
Well, sip on it. Maybe as it warms, it'll open up a little bit, and you can enjoy a little bit of it. So.
Yeah, I probably should have sat this off the ice packs for a bit before I opened it.
Yeah, just hold it in your hand while we talk.
You mean like this?
Just like that, right? Exactly.
It's exactly what I'm doing. It's the whole reason I actually poured it into this glass, because it lends itself.
There you go.
Because it's snifterish.
It is.
I love Belgian tulips, and I particularly love the Duvel art glasses.
Oh, the Duvel art glasses are gorgeous. I love them.
I've got a few of them, and I've got that one with the bats on it, which is my favorite.
And where's that one?
No, it's great.
Oh, it is over there. Okay, it's not in a box of storage.
No, this one's not in a box.
Hey.
My other 2 are the one with the pornographic blue meanies.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another one that's, I can't even describe what it looks like, but so I do have 4 of them. And this is my latest acquisition. Obviously I picked it up recently because it's the year of the dragon, which happens to be 2024.
There you go.
The last time it was the year of the dragon was 2000? No, 2012.
12 years. So 12 years. Yeah, 12.
I was just thinking because
so it wasn't 2000, just also
it was. Yeah, I was thinking that because the Year of the Dragon Hawaiian shirt that I have is from 2000.
Yeah. So just to finish up on foam, great place, amazing. If you're in Burlington and you don't get the foam, you're stupid. You're stupid.
Yeah. So just or you don't drink beer.
A couple other things about the trip. Food, fantastic. It was called Pascolo's. It's an Italian restaurant right on Church Street in Burlington. Amazing food.
Now here's the thing. When we're outside this area, it's rare that we ever go to an Italian restaurant.
Mm-hmm. It is true.
And the same's for you too. So this place must be really good if you went.
We went. Here's the thing. We read a lot of reviews. It was between that and a steakhouse, and couldn't get a reservation at the steakhouse, and they were closing early. I'm like, you know what? I want to stay out a little later. Plus, we were getting back from the trip to Schilling too, right, that night.
Yeah, so it was your birthday dinner.
Right. So let's go and try it. And food was fantastic. It was so good, we went back for lunch on Monday.
Nice.
So sat at the bar then. It was really good. People in there were great. The bar talked to the bartender on Monday, which we talked to on Sunday as well. The wait staff was amazing. Great people.
I'm hoping I don't go blind from drinking this.
You'll be fine. Did get to it. Did get to a couple of bars. Went to the Whiskey Lounge. It was just off of Church Street on Banker College. Great people. Great bartender in there. Great people in there. Great cocktails in there. And in fact, I'll be honest with you, I did not have a cocktail. Just had a couple cocktails. I had a couple of whatchamacallit, Dark Rise. The Buffalo.
Oh yes, you did post that up.
Yeah. Hello. Basil Hayden's Dark Rye.
Basil Hayden's
Dark Rye.
I might have finished. I guess I finished my bottle. Yeah. I thought I had a bottle.
I just acquired another bottle of Dark Rye. It was one of my birthday presents. So.
Is it for the show tomorrow? Or you're going?
I might be having it on the show.
So we're talking about the Anna Chaser podcast, which we do with the beer whisperer, whiskey whisperer, Tom Mulvihill. That'll be tomorrow, about the same time we started this show, probably a little earlier, because hopefully John won't break a glass before that show.
Right, and I also do the sports podcast at 7:30, 7:45 as well.
And I'm not going to tell you what I'm drinking just yet, as far as my bourbon's concerned. But something you're very familiar with. So,
oh yeah, I can imagine what you're having. It might be that, it might be something else. I haven't decided yet. It's one of the two.
So,
anyway, and then we also went to just down on the other side of Church Street on the same block was a place called Archives. And I want to pull up this picture, and I want to show you this picture. And this is the wall. Like, we're sitting at a bar. Here's the taps, and mix and cocktails, and we had drinks. We didn't have beer. And on the other side, there's more of a bar, and there's more of these on the other side. But this is the one wall in the bar.
That's from someone who grew up in the 80s. That's a beautiful sight right there.
All 80s video games. So it's basically the barcade of Burlington, Vermont. Great. I was playing Miss Pac-Man. I was playing Dig Dug. I was playing Galaga.
Were you playing them well, though?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Skills don't go away.
Actually, they kind of do. There's
well, no. Make no mistake. My first quarter, I kind of screwed up a little bit, but second, third quarter, they came back. Like the muscle memory of
eventually
40 years ago, came back.
I remember
5 years ago, came back.
I remember when I took Meathead to Barcade for the first time. We walk in. He's looking at the tape. The tables are interspersed around the games, and he looks at me. And goes, "It's a shame we can't play these things." He thought they were for decoration. I'm like, dude, the bill changer is right over there. He goes to the bill changer, gets himself some quarters. He goes over to Punch Out.
Oh yeah.
His very first quarter, he loses to Glass Joe. I'm like, I need some refresher.
Got a little refresher on that one, right?
Then he finally makes it. By the time we left and we had to drag him out of there, he made it to Iron Mike. So
I did. I played Dig Dug first, then I played Galaga. I played Missile Command. I played 4 games, and then I played.
I'm actually better at Missile Command now than when I was younger.
And then I played. And I played Miss Pac-Man last. But what's funny is, by then, all the muscle memory was coming back. Right, I literally had to just purposely get eaten by a ghost 3 times to get, because Jess is like, okay, she finished her cocktail. I was done. They were about to close. I'm like, I was literally on level 12. I'm like, all right, forget it. I'm done.
What was your best game back in the day?
A lot. I probably played Donkey Kong and, oddly enough, Cubert more than anything.
Okay.
But Galaga, it's Space Invaders, but Galaga was probably number 3.
What are the
Defender?
No, I'm not saying your favorite. What was the one that you would consistently put up the high score on?
Oh, probably Miss Pac-Man, honestly.
Okay. Mine. Well, you remember Dragon Slayer?
Oddly enough, Ms. Pac-Man, not Pac-Man, Ms.
Yeah.
Pac-Man. Don't ask me why, but Ms. Pac-Man.
Remember Dragon Slayer?
Of course.
I could beat it.
I never beat Dragon Slayer. I got far a couple times. I
could beat it. As a matter of fact, my home arcade,
mm-hmm.
if I went and I put my quarter up on the console,
mm-hmm.
everyone who was waiting to play would take theirs down. They're like, because they wanted to watch. They wanted to see how I beat it. They knew, oh shit, it's Dave. He can beat this. And they'd all take the quarters down. Right. But my game that I would consistently put the high score up on, mm-hmm. my favorite one to play was Sinistar.
Sinistar was good.
Loved it.
I probably did. I gave up on Space Invaders early, obviously, with all the other games that were coming out.
Yeah.
But I was always, leveling up all the time on Space Invaders. Donkey Kong I got pretty far into. I'd say Donkey Kong was my first. And Q*bert I played a ton of. Those two I got pretty far on that. But I would say Ms. Pac-Man, I don't know why. Pac-Man I got far on, but I don't know what it was about Ms. Pac-Man. I guess it was just the actual paths of how they had them set up.
The pattern.
The pattern, right?
Yeah.
I literally could play that until I didn't want to play it anymore. Every time. Because it just kept going, right? You didn't win it. You just kept going and going and going and going and going.
Yeah, it wasn't like Dragon Slayer.
Right. So a couple of posts here. Doug just said, Tom is on fire with his cocktail creations for Banner Brewing. His alchemy is wowing the locals. Absolutely. Yeah, we were talking to him the other day about that. And we'll talk. We'll bring that up. Doug, tune into the Edit Chaser tomorrow night. Bring that up. We want to talk about that. Seriously, do that. And then he also said, Dragon Slayer is impossible. I must see you play.
I actually found one.
All right. I will, Doug, I will get an old video game of Dragon Slayer and put it in the brewery, and Dave can play it, and you can stand there and we'll watch. There we go.
It'll probably take me 3 months to get it all back. Because the problem is the console itself is important because it's the sensitivity. You have to understand the sensitivity, not just know the patterns of each of the scenes.
Right.
You also have to know the sensitivity of the joystick and to be one with it. Just don't go there. Don't go there.
There's a lot of truth in that, but that's besides the point.
But you know what I'm saying. You need to know, because there's times where if you're on the wrong console, if you're in a different arcade and the joystick's got a different sensitivity to it, you're not going to beat it. And I found one recently somewhere, and I made it. I don't think I made it past like 6 scenes, and part of it is memory. The memory's gone from it. All that muscle memory.
Memory's gone a lot of things, but
from a lot of things. I mean, muscle memory on some of these things are still there. Like 1942. I can still play 1942.
Nice.
I'm sorry, Time Pilot.
Yeah. Time Pilot.
I can still play Time Pilot, and I still remember how to play that. Sinistar, I still remember how to play. I still put up the high scores on those. But man, Dragon Slayer, you had to. That muscle memory had to be there, and it's not a consistent muscle memory.
No.
Everything has its own different pattern to it, every scene, and I loved it. I could not beat Space Ace though, which was the follow up to it. The sci-fi
follow up, yeah. Doug just put up, have you guys been to Fun Spot in Hampton Beach, New Hampshire? It's like going back to a time machine, old school arcade. I'm gonna have to get there. Now that you say that,
yeah, but if it's Hampton Beach, so it's not gonna be too far from Boston.
I was gonna say we're gonna have to do a Boston trip, a Portland trip, or go see which we call it over at Brewery Sylvaticus trip.
I was gonna say if you're in Hampton Beach.
And we get over to
that's a good kickoff to Sylvaticus,
and we go to Sacred Profane too while we're up there too.
Biddeford is not too far from there.
No,
not at all. So, and yes, many of our friends will hump you back beer from Barrel Souls.
Yes, we will. We'll get it back. I actually have right there is a Barrel Souls beer right there too. So.
Yeah, and
And I have several downstairs, but that's what you said.
Barrel Souls is one of the few places that I was sitting there drinking and just handed the keys to Carrie and went, I can't.
Oh, I've done that a couple times with Jess. Yeah,
I just at Barrel Souls, and I'll say one thing: we're driving back. We were staying in New Hampshire near where her brother is in New Hampshire, and I just could not keep my eyes awake. I friggin' passed out in the car.
Well, I mean, look at it this way: when we left you that Friday in Portland, and when we left you from where we were over at Allagash and across the street, and you guys went over and you got the BLT like I told you to over at Mass Landing.
Yep.
We left the city. We went to Barrel Souls and then drove to Boston. So that was fun.
Oh my God. So yeah, but yeah, we'll have to try that. There's Morristown has got a place called the Game Vault.
The Game Vault. Yeah.
It's an old bank and you pay by the hour. There's also Silver Ball in Asbury Park, which is another one you pay by the hour.
Silver Ball in Asbury Park is kind of cool. It's really, I got to tell you, the pinball machines. I love playing the pinball machines.
I suck at pinball.
I love pinball machines.
My brother, when he was probably 9-10 years old, all the teenagers in the arcade called him Pinball Wizard. They'd have to put a milk crate in front of the machine.
Did he have a subtle wrist?
Very subtle wrist.
You mean supple wrist?
Supple wrist. Yeah, not supple. But they put a milk crate in front of it so he could reach and see what's going on. But man, and there was only ever one pinball machine that he could not pop that I could pop at will.
There you go.
It's called Lucky Horseshoe, I think.
Lucky Horseshoe.
I've never seen it since, and it was in it was in Wall Township where Peddler's Village is.
Was because nothing's there.
Was, and there was an arcade back in that.
Still nothing's corner. There. Still nothing's there.
But that back left corner, there was an arcade right next to the record store.
Nice.
And we would go there, and that was my favorite pinball machine.
I did hear that somebody bought it and they're putting up condos.
Not a surprise.
No, I'm not shocked at all.
No.
Anyway.
And that is right next to the apartment complex that I lived in when I was 6 years old.
There you go.
Right there. It used to be a Grand Union, by the way.
It was a Grand Union there. Yep.
Yeah.
I remember that. Union. I do remember it.
And there's a picture somewhere, and I do have it, of my mom, my older brother, myself, my little brother with Miss New Jersey.
Lovely.
Taken in that Grand Union.
There you go. Lovely. All right. I'm ready for a top three. What do you think?
I think so. But remember, we've got a segue into it.
We do have a segue into it. So,
and that is the shirt I'm wearing.
The shirt you're wearing. So, Dave, why don't you tell us about the shirt you're wearing?
So, Diversity, it's on tap, is Altravita Beer Company's slogan. Altravita Beer Company, about a year and a half ago, a little over a year and a half ago, got a lot of national awareness and attention, not just in the craft beer community, but in the LGBTQ community, but also all over the place, because there was a shooting at the Q Club in Colorado. They were having a drag night there, and
is that in Denver? Or is it in Aurora? Right? Or...
I think it's in Denver, actually.
Denver. Might be. No, you might be right. It's in Denver.
I think it's in Denver, and a gunman came in, killed 5 people. One of the people they killed was the boyfriend of the daughter of the owners of Altravita. The owner of Altravita was a Army veteran. He managed to tackle the gunman and subdue him, and disarm him and subdue him, probably saving many, many, many lives. And because of this, a lot of people really supported the brewery. I immediately, because of what they had done, ordered this shirt. It took nearly a year to get, because so many other people had done it in support of this brewery. And basically what they had gone through, even though he was a hero, just what they witnessed and what they went through, that's really tough. But the reason it segues into our top threes is because the Fieros, Jess, and I just said his name, Jess and Paul.
You, Paulie.
Fiera, and I just want to make sure I've got their names right.
It's in Colorado Springs, by the way.
Colorado Springs. Yes, it's Rich. Oh, Rich. Sorry, Rich. I did say
Jess and Rich. You did say Rich.
I did say Rich. Yeah, so Jess and Rich. Paul's Higgins. It works. But Jess and Rich.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but Jess and Rich are
3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks. They're Mexican Americans, and we just had Cinco de Mayo pass. And Jess had actually won a homebrew competition. And in this homebrew competition, this was with, I told you at the top of the show, Beerland from Vice TV. And she'd won a competition. This is Jess. She's the head brewer there. She did a tamarind infused bière de garde to win the contest.
Tamarind infused bière de garde.
Yes, and her daughter is also a brewer, and she wound up getting a scholarship to San Diego State, and she's got an internship into Coronado Brewing.
Lovely.
But when this happened, she was actually home from school. But the point is, this is one of the very few. There's only 2.2% of all breweries are Hispanic owned, and this is one of those. And they're Mexican, and with Cinco de Mayo just passing. No, I didn't want to show them some love just for, basically what they've been through, but also being in a Mexican American owned brewery. I mean, the only other one that I know of at the top of my head is Five Rabbits Cerveceria in Chicago.
Right.
Funny
you said that. I was literally going to say that myself. I was like, there's Five Rabbits, right?
There's Five Rabbits. Not right. I think it's just Five Rabbit. it is
Five Rabbit. You're right. It's Five Rabbits.
It's just Five Rabbit Cerveceria. Right. So we want to show them love in light that Cinco de Mayo just passed, and in honor of that, our top threes this time is top 3 Mexican foods.
Top 3 favorite Mexican foods.
And I guarantee that at least one of us will have one that is meat and cheese and tortilla.
So why don't you kick us off there, Samurai, and let us know.
And I had notes on this, but I need to read my freaking notes on this one. I actually have 4, but my it's not that it's not my favorite Mexican food. It's just it's not a main. It's more of an appetizer, and that is elote. Street corn. I make it at home, and it's really you boil some corn or roast it. Actually, if you want to be more authentic, roast it. Put a stick in it. Put cob holders, whatever you want. Slather it with crema. But if you're American and you don't have crema and you have access to crema, you can use mayonnaise.
There you go. You can.
You roll it in cotija cheese, and then sprinkle it with cayenne pepper, and that is elote. Some people will shave the corn off the cob and do it that way. Cowards. It's still delicious that way, but I like it off the cob. So that would be my honorable mention, only because it's an app. Because I absolutely love that. I love elote. So my number 3, I'm going to put hot pork tamales.
Hot pork tamales.
Oh God, spicy pork tamales. Love them. Love them, love them, love them.
In fact, I think the last time you and I actually ate a meal together, it was Mexican.
Where were we?
In Mars Plains. Denville, Mars Plains.
Oh, was it Chico's?
Chico's, yeah.
Oh, that's right. I took you to Chico's. Was Chico there that day?
Yes, he was. We talked to him.
Excellent. My number 2. And they do have tamales there, by the way. Actually, everything I've mentioned, they have there because their food is so good. So if you're in Denville, get the Chico's. Tell Chico I said hi, and if don't tell him the Beer Samurai. He doesn't know me by the Beer Samurai. He knows me by Tequila Dave, actually.
Tequila Dave.
That's when I walked into the Chico's.
Not Tequila Mockingbird.
Nope, Tequila Dave. Yes. Go Kill a Dave. when I walked in and I ordered, they'd put me in the POS as Tequila Dave because I was about the only person who could talk tequila with Chico at that level. My number 2 would be Mole Negro.
Mm-hmm.
The black mole. Put that on a piece of roast chicken. Slather it over top of an enchilada, over a burrito, wherever you want to put it.
Mm-hmm.
But when black mole is done properly, it is sublime.
Mm-hmm.
I would make it at home, except there's about 30,000 ingredients and it takes about 20 days to make, I think, something along those lines.
You need to get it out. You need to let somebody else do the work for you and just go enjoy it. Right?
It's involved, to say the least. But my number one thing, my absolute favorite Mexican food, and it's funny because when it gets warmer, I'll be able to walk outside my door, make a left, go to the block, make a left, cross over 43rd, and there's a stand right over there, and they do it right on the street. Mm-hmm. Tacos al pastor. Mm-hmm. And this is pork and pineapple. And if you've never seen it done right, mm-hmm. it looks like, at first glance, it looks like the meat in a Greek place for gyros. Mm-hmm. Right, it's set up the same way, but it's layers of pork and pineapple. Mm-hmm. And so the pineapple cooks and drips the pineapple juices all through the pork, and they shave it off and make a taco out of that. And mm-hmm. that's special. Mm-hmm. That's absolutely one of my favorite things.
Mm-hmm. It's fantastic. I got to tell you, I went less specific than you did. All right, but I will tell you, al pastor is definitely one of my favorite. Whether it's pork or chicken, chicken al pastor is
pork's a traditional.
Pork's traditional, but I definitely
and if you're getting chicken al pastor, you're not getting the spit.
You're not getting the spit, but you're getting. I mean,
you're getting a lot of the flavor.
You're getting a lot of the flavor. You're getting the pineapple. You're getting lime. You're getting the chili. You're getting a little bit of the spice in there. It's actually really good because the pork gives it another flavor. I love the pork al pastor. Don't get me wrong, but I actually think I lean towards the chicken a little bit more because I'm getting the flavors of the al pastor more so. Because chicken has a flavor, obviously, right? But it takes on the flavor of what it's being marinated in, right? Pork has its own flavor already with the fattiness in it. So,
I know what you're saying, but if all the flavors that are supposed to be in al pastor are not coming through in the pork, they've not done it right.
No, I understand. Absolutely. I agree.
You got to remember where I live.
Of course.
So
I agree with you. I agree with you. But al pastor is that. But like I said, I went specific in my honorable mentions, but I went generic in my top 3. Okay. My specific in my honorable mentions are, and I will say street corn was one of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Street corn is, I mean, you can't, street corn is street corn. It's right. I could probably just eat street corn. Like I could probably eat 4 or 5 years of street corn and call it a day and be done. Here's my meal done. Right?
And you prefer it by the ear rather than in a bowl.
Oh, I got to eat it. Yeah. I want it on the ear.
It's got to be on the,
It's got to be in the ear.
Got to be on the cob.
On the cob. But another one is an appetizer, chorizo and cheese.
Queso fundito.
Queso fundito. Yep.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say.
It's onions. There's some onions in it too. Not a lot.
I leave the onions out because I'm not a big fan.
You don't like onions. I do. Right?
Or I would put it sin cebollas. Mm-hmm. Spanish for without onions.
Without onions, right?
Sin cebollas.
Sans is French.
Sin,
yes. Sin is
sin cebollas.
Sans and sin, right?
Sin cebollas.
Right. But my 3, 2, 1 are number 3, enchiladas. Love enchiladas. It's almost like, it's like I always looked at, since I was a kid, I always looked at enchiladas as Mexican manicotti.
Now, question for you: green sauce, red sauce,
green
sauce,
green.
So you are saying you prefer chicken?
Yeah, you know what? I love mole. I love red.
Because the verde goes on the chicken enchiladas.
Verde is
Verde goes on the chicken enchiladas.
it's for me. It's verde, mole, red. That's
Okay.
and I love red. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I hate
they're
red.
all
It's
great.
down the bottom, but it's verde, mole, red.
So you're a big tomatillo fan.
I'm a tomatillo fan.
Yeah.
When I make my green chili, that's my favorite chili to make. Is my green chili. I put
And
a lot
again,
of
one of these
but here's the thing: I put a lot of tomatillos and cilantro in it. So if I make a batch and you're gonna have it, I won't put any cilantro in it.
Yeah, because otherwise it's gonna be soap. And one of these days we still have to do this where Brian, you, and not Brian Boak, Brian Altschul, because Brian, like me, he does red chili. But you, Altschul, and I need to get together so that we have the Mexican flag of chili. Because I do red, John does green, Brian does white.
White, yeah, exactly.
We'll need to do somebody. We need to get somebody to do an eagle eating a steak chili.
Exactly, something along those.
So we've got the logo in the middle.
So we got the logo in the middle, right? Exactly. So, whatchamacallit? All right, so that's enchiladas. My number 3. My number 2, good old fashioned burrito. Like, give me a good burrito packed. I mean, I can make, some burritos, depending on where you get them.
Which protein?
You know what? Honestly, burritos, I'll have steak. Steak is my number 1 for burritos.
Okay, carne asada?
Carne asada, yeah. Carne
yes. Asada. And I love carne asada. It's really just salt and lime.
Yeah.
That's simple.
I'm a big lime guy.
Oh God, I love
Put the citrus on the beef. I'm good to go.
Yeah, because I'm terrified of scurvy.
Exactly. In this day and age.
Yes. Gotta have that, gotta have that citrus so you don't get the scurvy.
So yeah, carne asada, yeah. But like I said, I just went generic. But burritos, it can be chicken, it can be pork, it can be a bean burrito for all I care. Give me a good burrito.
Where have you had your best burrito?
Oh geez. I got to tell you, there's probably 4 or 5 Mexican places in my town.
Yeah.
All right. And I've probably had some of the best Mexican food I've ever had in the last 7 years living in this town. Last 8 years.
Okay. Fair enough.
7.5. But I got to tell you, probably my best burrito was at Taco Bell. No, I'm kidding. It was a joke. Was that this one? I forget the name of it.
You took a run for the border, and then afterwards had to run for the bathroom.
No, it was. I forget the name of the place, but it was in New York. It's gone. It was in the low 50s on the east side. I think 2nd or 3rd Avenue in Manhattan. There was place.
So south of Hell's Kitchen,
north. But east.
50s. Oh yeah, 50s is north.
50s on the east side. Yeah. So north of Gramercy.
Yeah.
North of United Nations too.
The east side. I'm going west side.
East side, yeah, east side. Yeah. 2nd or 3rd. I forget the name of the place. I mean, if I looked it up, I could probably do a Google search and find it. But it was 52nd or 53rd on. It was 52nd. It was on 2nd or 3rd near 52nd or 53rd. That's where it was. Best burrito I ever had. I still, in my mind, and I'm going back 30 years, I had this burrito, right? But it's not just the burrito I had. It was all the Mexican food I had. But my number one.
Your number one.
My number 1, soft tacos in general, but soft tacos, but corn tortilla soft tacos. Not flour, corn tortilla soft.
So you're talking street tacos.
Street tacos. Give me a street taco any day of the week. My number 1 Mexican food, period.
And if there's not 2 taco shells, they're doing it wrong.
Because there's got to be 2.
Because the first one will
fall apart.
And you're going to pick it up to your mouth, everything's going to fall out of it. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, if you're doing it right and you're doing it with corn tacos, you're doubling it up like the proper street tacos, you've got sliced radishes in there. Mm-hmm. Right, because that's the way it's done.
There's got to be radishes in there.
There has to be radishes.
I get a street taco and there's no radishes in there. I'm eating it, but I'm not going back.
Yeah, you're like, no, you've done this wrong. Yeah. You've done this wrong. Yeah. And Carrie will tell you, anytime that she's making tacos, like she did tacos for Cinco de Mayo. Mm-hmm. And she's like, well, what do you want from it? Like, well, I want radishes. Like, yes, I know you want radishes. Of course. It's funny because it's like to an American who's just used to Taco Bell or Tex-Mex.
Right.
Radishes? Really? No. Radishes are that's authentic Mexican right there.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely authentic Mexican. You have to have the radishes in there.
Got to have radishes in there. It's. I mean, for all intents and purposes, as far as I'm concerned, you could put carne asada and radishes in 2 corn tortillas with a little with a little. I mean, it could be mole, it could be verde, it could be
or just straight up salsa.
Straight up salsa on it for little pico de gallo even.
Yeah.
Good. Done.
But you can keep all that off of there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm gonna want a little. I'm gonna want some cheese on there. Usually cotija.
You got to go cotija.
One cotija on there, and a little bit of crema.
Sure.
Love the crema, and you
got a place around the corner for me. Next time you come down, we got to get some Mexican food. You're gonna like it.
Oh, you know I love my Mexican food, and I don't fuck around about it. There's authentic Mexican, and one time I was in for work. I was in Thousand Oaks, California. And the IT guy and
I went there years ago when it was just 100 Oaks.
They've grown. Things grow. And the IT guy and I, we looked at the staff, said, we want authentic Mexican. Where should we go?
Mm-hmm.
And the staff all just kind of looked at each other. And the one person looked at this one, the only Hispanic on the staff, and said, and she was Mexican. She was Mexican. She was actually she came to the U.S. from Mexico. She was born in Mexico.
Right.
And the manager looked at her and goes, do we dare? She goes, they want authentic. And they seem serious about this.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, send them to Letty's. She goes, so we went to this one place, and it looked like it had been like a quasi-fancy place at first. And then that had closed down, and Letty's had moved in because they had a hostess stand. But behind the hostess stand was the menu. And the menu was tacked to the wall, written on paper plates. And we're like, I think we're in the right place. And we sat down. They didn't speak much English, but we were able to communicate with them because, let's face it, food's a universal language. Greg and I ordered 4 things off the menu. 9 different plates showed up to the table eventually through the night, because we ordered these 4 things, and they're watching us because they're like, these gringos are actually going to eat this food.
Right.
Every bite we took, the look of ecstasy on our face. Mm-hmm. It's like we've hit it. We've hit the place, and they were so happy that we were enjoying the food. They kept bringing stuff, and we're like, we didn't order this, and they're telling us, no. Gratis. It's like, okay. So they just kept giving us food that they didn't charge us for because they were just so enjoying watching us enjoy their food. We waddled out of that place.
I was going to say, there's no way you didn't crawl home, right?
Well, we're walking back to the car, waddling back to the car, and still open. Mm-hmm. At about 8 p.m., mind you, 2 doors down was a Mexican bakery.
Oh, beautiful.
So we found room.
There you go. Gotta love it. Chuck Aaron commented in before. He said, and he wanted to let us know top 3 suggestions for next show.
Okay.
All right, ready? Here we go. Top 3 ways to remove the squeak from Samurai's chair.
There we go. There's the squeak.
I think it's funny. Do the swivel too. I think it's the swivel too.
No, the swivel doesn't do it. The back and forth doesn't do it. If I move from
side to
side, that's what gets it. That's where it is. So you remember I oiled at one point, and I think I got the back and forth. I need to figure out how to get the squeak out from the side to side on that.
There you go. It's like
we're getting closer.
So
it's not as bad as it used to be.
I got a little. If I go all the way back,
but
I never go back. I never sit back during the show because my ears. So.
But that's more of a creak than a squeak.
Right.
So we don't know if that's the chair or your back.
Well, it could be either.
It could be either.
Right.
We don't know. Whereas this is obviously metal squeaking, and it's not as bad as it used to be. But it's when
it's gotten a lot better. I will tell you that. But
well, it's because I did spray it with some lubricant.
there you go. Well,
Now,
that's always a good thing.
just trying to figure out. I'm just trying to figure out where it needs to be hit next. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
That's always interesting to figure that out too.
Yep.
But we'll leave that alone.
Yes, we're going to leave that alone.
One last thing about the trip to Vermont, I just want to bring up.
Was this the other Just thing?
No.
Oh, you're not going to bring that up because we talked about that last week.
What was that?
About where our decals show up.
Oh. Well, it's right. Yeah, it's right on the. It's a half a block away, actually, from Switchback and Burlington Beer Company.
And this would be, again, this is very much a Jess thing. It's the tallest file cabinet.
The world's tallest file cabinet, yes. So here's the picture. And you can see at the top of it, the file cabinet going up. It goes up about 100 feet, I'd say. Okay. But let me zoom in.
To the base.
And there's the base right there.
There we go. Coastal Brewworks and Beer Samurai at the base.
Right there. There you go.
So where we go. We'll see how long it lasts on concrete.
We'll see how long it lasts on concrete. But we'll have to obviously get back up to Burlington to figure that out, obviously.
To see if it's there.
Okay.
And so none of the breweries up there had sticker walls, huh?
Nobody had sticker walls. Nobody had coolers that I could put stickers on. Nothing.
Really?
The only other thing I did, and I was bringing that up right now, the only thing I did, I'm just trying to pull it up right now, was I told you the video game place.
Yep.
All right. This is behind the bar at the video game place. See all the stickers?
Oh, nice.
All right. I'm going to zoom in.
Oh, nice. There we go. In that corner right there. Right
in the corner, right in the crease.
Right. I need more coastal stickers.
We got two new ones coming. We got a wave and the regular logo too.
Well, whichever one you need me to get out there, you definitely got to get them to me before I go to Pittsburgh in July and Seattle.
Oh, you'll have them well before that because they'll be ready for something that's coming up soon. More on that.
I've heard something about this.
More on that in a week.
There's a little buzz in the air about that.
Yeah, more on that in a week or two. So, but the other thing I was going to mention really quick about Vermont, we did hit 2 distilleries. We'll talk more about this tomorrow night on the And a Chaser podcast because I do want to get a little bit more in that. But we went to Bar Hill, which they do gins there.
They're known for gin, and by self-definition, John is a gin whore. Yep, guilty as charged.
Guilty as charged. Right. And we also went to one of the Smuggler's Notch outlets. We didn't go to the actual distillery. They have a few.
Well, they've got one in Burlington.
They have one in Burlington, right on Church Street. So we're in there. Did bring home a bottle of maple gin.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I had to taste it, right? And I was like, okay, well, this is either going to be delicious or weird. Oh, and it was in fact delicious. So,
by the way, John,
that will be making an appearance at some point on the End of Chaser podcast.
And on John's recommendation, probably within a week, did receive.
Bless you.
John says, "Bless you, Maddie." I did receive my bottle of Sugar Bob's smoked maple.
You bought it. Awesome.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
So I will figure out something to do.
Well, that's not going to be for tomorrow because we're not.
No, it's not for tomorrow. Yeah. But in one of the shows, because I'm going to pair it with something that I don't know that anybody would think to pair it with. So
fair enough. I did want to show you this. I went to one liquor store in Burlington to pick up a bottle of something, which I'll talk about. I won't even talk about on the show. I'll talk about tomorrow night. But I do want to show this, and I'll bring this up tomorrow night as well.
Hold on. It's like your phone's not focusing on it. No, I don't have my glasses on. It's still not focused too well on it. What are are those all MTDs?
All different bitters.
Well, those are all. Oh, now I see it. Oh, that's a beautiful thing.
It's amazing. So,
did you get anything?
Of course.
Of course.
Of course. So more on that tomorrow night.
So if you want to know what bitters John picked up, tune into the Chaser.
And the Chaser podcast. You can find us on Facebook.com/andthechaser. And of course, the show will be live on that channel and as well as the Logger Room YouTube channel as well. Tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Tomorrow, Wednesday, May 8th.
Because it is part of the Logger Room, guys.
Podcast Network. Absolutely. So, all right. I think we're good. You?
Yeah. I drank a lot more of this than I thought I was going to.
I was going to say, see, that's why I just dragged it on a little bit more. I wanted you to try and warm it up a little bit to enjoy a little bit of it. I don't want you to dump a 500 mil. You know?
Telling you right now, warmed up.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as hot.
Mm-hmm.
The malting becomes aggressive.
Okay.
To the point where the malts are part of the mouthfeel.
Oh, wow. Fair enough. All right.
But it still has that. It still drinks like a very young barley wine.
Okay. American barley wine or English barley wine?
American.
Okay.
Right.
So there's a bitterness to it. I'm saying there's a hop profile.
There's a bitterness, but it's not from hops. It's weird because on one hand, yes, it drinks very much like a very young English barley wine. But the problem, the reason I didn't go there with it is because I'm not sure there's any such thing as a very young English barley wine.
No, yeah, you're right on that note. You're right on that.
So it's got that. It's got that
precursor to being an English barley wine is that it's aged long enough to.
Yeah, let's put it this way.
Smooth. As Colonel Sherman T. Potter said, none enough O's and smooth too.
Yes, but I would put it this way: the Cellarman at an English.
You're talking about the Cellarman, not the Kellerman. Kellerman was a place in the Catskills. Was a place where people went to vacation in the summer, and that was the topic of Dirty Dancing. Kellerman.
Yes, yeah. But Kellerman would also be the way the Germans say Cellarman.
Oh, the Kellerman, right? Yeah.
Kellerman. So the Cellarman in a British brewery has tasted the barley wine and said, "Nope, not good for consumption yet." That would be this.
Fair enough. Not good for consumption yet. Let's bottle it for them, right?
Yeah, let's bottle this for another 3 years, at least 2, maybe. But this is
well, your job. Should you choose to accept it, buy another bottle. Where did you get that, by the way? Did you get that here? Or did you get that when you were over?
No. That was where the hell did I pick this up? Where were we that I bought this? I have no idea where I was.
All right, you got to figure out where you bought it. Here's your job. Here's your duty. All right.
You want me to do my duty?
You got to do your due diligence.
Right here. Oh, diligence. It's like right here on the show.
Right. No. Figure out where you bought it. Go buy another. Put it away.
Yeah, because this is, the heat's going to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Where the hell were we when I bought this?
So, well, you can figure that out. You don't need to figure it out now. But figure that out. Buy another bottle, put it away. Sit on it for however long. I mean, a year, 2 years, 3 years. I don't care. However long, figure it out.
I may have to get 2 because let's face it, these things are not expensive.
No.
So I may get 2 or 3, sit them down for a bit.
Drink one in a year, drink one in 2 years, drink one in 3 years.
Yep. I don't think it was Jersey City by right. Can't remember where the hell we got this.
We'll figure it out, and there you go. That's your job.
It's the same place where I got the Von Trapp.
Fair enough. All right. I'm good. You happy?
Well, buzzed.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
We got a good show next week. A show that we've been wanting to do for a while now.
Yes.
Okay. About beer mail, right? Not beer mail like friends sending friends or beer trading or anything else.
No.
Talking about Tavor. We're talking about beer drop. We're talking about halftime. We're talking about beer by mail, if you will. Okay.
No, mail order beer.
Mail order beer. There you go. Like that. Mail order beer. Brew Guru himself, John Stardomsky, will be on next week's show with us, and we'll be
the king of mail order beer.
The three of us will be drinking nothing but beer that we've gotten in the mail on the show, and we'll be talking about all of the services and what we think of it and our opinions and so forth and so on. And tune in. It's going to be a good show. You're going to want to watch that, and you're going to want to watch it live. Comment in, talk about your experiences with beer mail as well.
Yes, please.
And because we want you to, that's important to the show. And then, of course, rewatch it afterwards. But on that note, for this show, we will wrap up for today.
We are going to, yes.
Absolutely. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.loggerroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and, of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Logger Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, unless I break another glass.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you who just want to listen,
don't do that.
I know. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcast, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, Castbox, Deezer, Podchaser, Listen Notes. Pretty much anywhere you can find an audio podcast, you'll find the Log Room Guys Craft Beer Podcast. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show.
I remember where I got this done.
Where'd you get it?
Total Wine in Wayne.
Total Wine and Total.
Yep.
Totowa Wine and Total Way.
Yes. So maybe
Total Wine and Totowa. There you go.
I'm tired of towing the line in Total Wine and Totowa.
Say that fast 5 times.
Oh, Toto, there's no place like home.
There you go. Hold the line. I don't want to do that.
No, Toto.
Beer isn't always on time. There you go.
Baby, I'm tired of towing the line.
Beer towing the line. Oh, you went yellow on there.
That was Rocky Burnett.
Oh, it's Rocky Burnett. Okay.
Rocky Burnett.
Tired of towing the line. Yeah, you're right. It was Rocky Burnett. Yeah.
Toe the line was 33 special.
Towing the line. Hold the line was.
Hold the line.
Hold the line. No, that was Toto. Toto. Right.
Back to Toto.
Back to Toto. It comes back to Toto.
Total Line by Toto playing in Total Wine and Totowa.
There you go. All right.
That's the ultimate experience.
You got to get back up there, get 3 bottles, put them away, drink it a year or 2. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'll try to get 1 too, and I'll stick it away.
No, if I get 3, I'll give you 1, and I'll keep 2.
There you go. Anyway, thanks for following with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. Watch the End of Chaser show tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Facebook.com/End of Chaser and or the Logger Room Guys, or the Logger Room on YouTube, Logger Room Podcast Network. And we'll see you next week, where we will be having a great show with John Stardomsky. All right?
Yeah.
All right.
Perfecto.
Have a good one, guys. Take care. Cheers.
Cheers.